The movie industry is made up of two separate but equally important groups. The theaters who display the movies and the critics who overvalue their opinions. These are our reviews. The Morning Blaze is bringing justice to the movie.
It's 105.1 The Blaze, the Valley's best rock. Rash is on vacation during this Bring Justice to the movies. I get to fill in. Justus gave me a pretty good challenge movie to watch, which was I didn't realize it was as old as it was, but that's okay. It's a 2013 production called CBGBs. And I enjoyed it, not because I particularly like punk music, but I was a teenager in the 70s. And so, I had friends who were into it. Yeah. And, I knew what CBGBs was. And, watching a video performance of it as a lover of history of any kind, I thought, this is really well done. As the history nerd in me, though, says some of the sequence of the bands that they presented were off.
Oh yeah,
but that's okay. It flowed very well. It was a little raunchy. On the same hand, considering what punk music was really all about, I mean, you had to have some of that.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was fairly tasteful, considering the experience. Now, so I called up a buddy of mine who actually grew up just north of New York City in the 70s.
Oh.
And he was really into the punk movement. He could probably, to this day, still sing the lyrics to every Ramones song there is.
That's awesome.
So I called him up. I'm not going to reveal his name, but I said, hey, did you ever actually go to the original CBGBs? He paused for a minute, and he says, you'd have to ask my bong. So
long and distant memories.
Anyway, the rest of that tells the story. So Anyway, I appreciated the challenge. Thanks for your suggestion.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I kind of figured with the historical aspect of it, you might be into that a little more. So
yeah, absolutely. Especially considering, as I mentioned before, I remember the history of all of that because I was alive.
Yeah, while it was happening. That's cool.
During that time. All right, so I gave you a challenge. What did you think?
Yeah, so you gave me Quigley Down Under. It's a Australian Western was what it was classified as. I'm not really a big Western guy, so I'm kind of surprised I enjoyed this as much as I did. It's a good movie. It's kind of, I don't want to say typical Western, but new guy rolls into town, works for somebody who he doesn't exactly agree with, and chaos just kind of ensues after that.
Yes.
And Tom Selleck did pretty good. I actually enjoyed that. Like I said, Crazy Cora, whatever her name was, kind of threw me off as a character. I wasn't entirely sure why she was there the entire time, but it kind of makes sense in a roundabout way in the end. And just like I said, for a Western, I surprisingly enjoyed it. It kind of made me think of, as I was watching it, I'm like, this guy's the John Wick of the Australian Outback.
Yes.
Because my goodness.
Good comparison.
He can kill you with just about anything.
Yes.
So.
Now, the interesting thing was, and I don't think either of us recognized it, but we both gave each other movies that had Alan Rickman.
Yeah, we both had Alan Rickman movies. Alan Rickman was the bad guy in mine and the main character in yours.
Yeah, and he played both roles quite well.
Oh yeah, he did. I feel like he's one of the more underrated actors of the time. He's just kind of somebody who just kind of flew under the radar a little bit, but that guy is great in anything that he's in. So
yeah, he was always like I don't want to say B as in talent level, but he played a lot of villain roles, and villains don't get the lead roles.
Yeah,
and that was one of the different things that I liked about the CBGB movies was he was actually the lead and the hero in it, even though he was as dysfunctional.
Yeah,
he was dysfunctional as the punk band.
Yeah, Hilly Crystal was quite the character.
Oh, yeah, definitely so. Definitely so. All right. Well, I appreciate this chance to play Bring Justice to the movies.
Yeah.
I would like to do it again sometime when theaters are actually opening.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
But we won't go there.
The movie industry is made up of two separate but equally important groups. The theaters who display the movies and the critics who overvalue their opinions. These are our reviews.